points and lines in Labelbox. Here we are in the configure interface screen of a Labelbox project. Points and lines are both geometry types that fall under the objects in the configure interface. So to create a point or a line, we will first add an object here. I'm going to name this as bumper, and we'll start with a line geometry type. So I'm going to switch from polygon here to line. You can also see the points down here, which we'll get to in a moment, and the rectangle, which is also known as a bounding box. So we'll start with line here. Moving over to the right side, you can see that our interface is being configured in real time as we choose options and settings and set up classes. And so the bumper class that we've defined is already here on the right. And we can choose to use this tool already and see how it works by selecting it with the mouse and coming in and doing a line drawing. Now, to finish a line, we can press F. F is a great hotkey here and completes the line. That allows us to immediately start on a new line if we want. If we wanted to do a new line, imagining there's another car here, we would select the class again, either by clicking, or we can press the 1 key to select the first class automatically assigned as bumper. So I'll press 1 here, and then you can see I have another line option. Pressing F finishes that line. However, this is not a line we want, so we can delete it with the delete key or the backspace key there. So now that we have our bumper line class configured in the interface, we can go ahead and confirm this setup, complete the setup of the project we're building, and start labeling it. It loaded our previous work here. Thank you, Labelbox. I'm going to go ahead and delete that, and we'll redraw it as if there's nothing to start from. So we'll start with our bumper class, which I selected with the 1 key, and come in and finish that with F. Now to submit in Labelbox, you press the submit here, or E, which we'll see in a second. So here's another car. This one we can't see the bumper, so we'll skip. We can skip with A or pressing the skip key here. This one we can see the bumper, so let's draw that. So we come in, we press the 1 key to select bumper, and we start annotating that bumper line here. There we have it. We press F to finish. At any time, we can edit this by adjusting the existing points, which are bright white here. We can also add additional points to this line geometry by pressing or clicking on the gray points. That activates the point there and allows us to add it and edit that point. We can also add more and more points as we zoom in. Pressing F allows us to finish that geometry there. Awesome. So submitting can be done with the submit button, or we can press E to save yet another keystroke with the mouse. Let's jump back and add a custom attribute to the line tool. So coming to settings, we can go to the labeling interface, edit our image labeling interface, which is what we're using. And let's say we wanted to ask whether the full bumper was visible for that annotation. To do this, we add a custom attribute to this bumper class. That's added in this settings section of this particular class. So within the bumper class, we click the arrow for settings, and then we add what's called a classification here. And we can say, is the bumper fully visible? Question mark. Now, we want this definitely to be required, so let's turn that on. And we can ask yes. And instead of a radio, let's just do a checklist. That says yes or no. We'll make it a radio since it's only one or the other. Testing that out. So first we hit done here. Well, we can test that out by coming into our interface side of the screen, pressing 1 to get a line, pressing F. And then as you can see, we have the question, is the bumper fully visible? We say, in this case, no, we're missing a little bit on the right side there. So we hit done. And there we've added a custom attribute to the line. Every line will have that custom attribute associated with it. And like so. Let's go ahead and delete these. And that is the line tool. So we can actually come in and since we're already here in the configure interface, let's add a point class. So we'll call this the light. Headlight rather, and we'll make this a point. Let's change the color so that we have something different than our bumper. I'll make it tomato color. Now we have the headlight class. The headlight class was automatically assigned hotkey number 2. So to get those headlights, we can come over to our interface, press the 2 key, and find the headlights. There they are. Perfect. In the same way that we add custom attributes to the bumper class, we can add custom attributes to the headlight class as well. To do that, we go similarly into the settings and we add a classification. Here, let's show a different type of attribute question. We can make it a text. So for text, we can ask, what type of headlight is it? And the annotator or labeler can add the type of headlight it is. And we press done. So now, if we go ahead and delete these headlight points and we add 1, we can see now that we must answer what type of headlight we're using. Now, I'm not an expert on headlights, but this looks like a nice one. So we'll go with that. So now we've seen lines and points and how to assign any number of custom attributes to those geometries in Labelbox, as well as how to edit these geometries and how to change them and their definition in the configure interface screen of Labelbox. One last pro tip, we can see the name of any class that's been labeled by pressing the period key on the keyboard. That shows us not only the class type, bumper or headlight, but it also shows us what the custom attributes that have assigned to it are. And if you have many different annotations on the image, you can imagine how helpful this is as you're reviewing and editing the label set for this image. That's all. Take care. See you next time.